Honona. Honana, also known as the Bone Woman, is what happens when love doesn't die, even after she does. She's a ghost, still simping for her man long after her body rotted away. From a distance, she looks perfect, soft skin, dreamy eyes, total wifey material. Honestly, from far, smash. But up close, you realize that her skin is hanging off the bone. Hard pass, bro. Behavior. Every night she crawls out of her grave and goes straight to her old lover's house, like it's still date night. He's shocked at first, but when love's that desperate, logic goes out the window. They cuddle, talk, maybe even do the afterlife tango. And every night she drains a little bit of his life energy to keep herself looking fine. The dude gets paler, weaker, basically dying from too much love. Usually it's a friend or relative who figures out, hey bro, your girl's been dead for months. But even after learning the truth, some gooners still let her in. I'm dead-ass serious, yeah, because she's dead, and she's got an ass. Fun fact, the most famous one, Otsuyu from The Tale of the Peony Lantern, became so iconic Japan turned her story into plays and movies for centuries. She's basically the original toxic ex, the kind that drains your soul, literally. Okiku Doll. In 1918, a young boy in Japan bought a doll for his little sister, Okiku. She loved it, talked to it, dressed it, and never let it out of her sight. But when Okiku died suddenly of an illness, her family placed the doll on the household altar to honor her. That's when they noticed something. The doll's hair, once a short, neat cut, began to grow. Slowly, naturally, just like a human's. Every few months, they'd trim it and it would grow back again. Scientists later confirmed the hair was real human hair, but no one could explain why. Locals believe Okiku's spirit moved into the doll, keeping it alive through her energy. It's said that at night, the doll's mouth sometimes opens slightly, and her eyes seem to follow you around the room. Monks at the temple where she's kept claim, the doll's hair still grows to this day, even after decades of being locked behind glass. Visitors say they've heard faint giggles or seen the reflection of a little girl standing beside the case, but no one ever sees her leave. If you ever visit Manenji Temple in Hokkaido, just don't stare too long. Turbo Granny. Imagine driving home at night blasting some Juice WRLD music thinking you're safe, until suddenly there's an old woman sprinting next to your car at 100 kilometers per hour in sandals. That's Turbo Granny. No car, no bike, just pure ghost cardio. She'll smack your window, tailgate your bumper, or chase you until you crash. People don't even agree on what she is. Some swear she's the ghost of a woman who died in a car crash, and now speedruns revenge like it's Mario Kart. Others think she's just Japan's fastest grandma, proving cardio beats horsepower every time. And yes, she never skips leg day. Either way, the nightmare's the same. If she lays a hand on your car, the engine dies instantly. And then guess what? So do you. No, I'm kidding. She's not that scary. If you're unlucky enough to run into her, survival chance is about 80%. Even lower if you're rocking a Tesla, because you're not outrunning a ghost in Nike shoes. Best case scenario, she scares the life out of you, then vanishes into thin air. Jorōgumo Spider Woman. Jorōgumo looks like a stunning young woman, but beneath her beauty hides a monstrous secret. She's actually a giant spider in disguise. In her true form, her body is covered in gold and black patterns like a wasp, with long, sharp legs that can spin webs strong enough to trap men. When she transforms into human form, she keeps a faint shimmer in her eyes, a warning of the predator beneath the skin. Behavior. Jorōgumo lives near waterfalls, abandoned houses, or forest paths. She lures travelers by pretending to be a helpless woman or musician. When they get close, she traps them in her silk, drains their blood slowly, and sometimes keeps their bones as trophies. Her webs are said to shimmer with strange beauty, a deadly trap disguised as art. Interactions. If you hear music or see a beautiful woman near a quiet waterfall, leave immediately. Many say she uses illusions to create false sounds, or visions to draw victims in. In some legends, she can even control small spiders to spy on people's homes. Origin. The Jorōgumo legend comes from Japanese folklore, where certain spiders transform into women after living 400 years. She symbolizes deception and the danger of beauty, a warning that what looks harmless may hide something deadly underneath. Nando Baba. Nando Baba is an old bent woman who hides in storerooms and closets, especially in Western Japan. She's small, wrinkled, and almost bald, wearing dirty torn clothes that hang loosely on her thin body. Her eyes move quickly like she's afraid of being seen. Behavior. She lives in places people forget. Dark storerooms, sheds, or messy closets covered in dust. The darker and dirtier it is, the more she likes it. Nando Baba is shy and easy to scare, so she chooses rooms that stay closed most of the time. Interactions. Nando Baba doesn't usually hurt anyone. When someone opens a door, she quickly runs away into the shadows. But if you open the door too suddenly, she might scream and chase you around the house in fright. People say hitting her on the head with a broom will confuse her, making her run away and hide under the floor. In some stories, she's said to steal babies, but that's probably a mix-up with another spirit called Yama Uba, who's much more dangerous. Origin. A long time ago, Nando Baba might have been a house spirit that protected storerooms and supplies. In old Japanese beliefs, every part of the house had its own guardian. But when people stopped believing those old gods were forgotten, what's left of them turned into spirits like Nando Baba, old protectors still hiding in the dark corners of the home. Sukima Onna, Sukima Onna, nicknamed the Gap Woman, looks like a pale woman with long black hair and lifeless eyes. You rarely see her fully, just a piece of her face staring through a narrow gap between doors, furniture, or walls. Her smile is thin, stretching too far like she's enjoying being half seen. Some say she wears a long white dress, but no one's ever seen all of her body and lived to describe it. Behavior. Sukima Onna hides in the smallest spaces of your home, between a slightly open door, under the bed, or behind a cabinet that's just a little away from the wall. She appears when people stare into these gaps for too long. At first, you'll only feel watched. Then, you'll see an eye. If you don't look away, she'll whisper your name. Interactions. When you see her, never speak. Never look twice. Closing the gap quickly might save you, but sometimes she slips through, standing right behind you before vanishing. Victims often report nightmares of eyes watching them from cracks, and eventually they disappear without a trace. Origin. Sukima Onna's story likely came from modern Japanese urban legends. Nure Onna, Nure Onna, or Wet Woman, is a creepy snake lady hybrid that you definitely do not want to meet at the river. From afar, she looks like a calm woman washing clothes. But when you get close, her long snake body coils behind her, and you realize, oh, this is bad. She's part snake, part nightmare. Her skin glistens like it's wet from the river, even if it hasn't rained all day, adding to the uncanny vibe. Behavior. She waits by rivers or lakes, usually where people come to bathe or fetch water. She acts chill, pretending to be harmless, almost luring you in. But the second someone reaches out, she strikes, wraps her snake body around them, and drags them into the water. You're basically toast before you even scream. Sometimes she hides under floating reeds, her tail coiling silently, waiting for the perfect moment to attack. Interactions. She doesn't need weapons. Her snake strength does all the work. Legends say she eats her victims or drags them to drown, sometimes taking babies too. A few rare stories even mention fishermen hearing whispers or seeing a floating figure in the river, then disappearing themselves. If you see her, don't get cute. Walk away slowly, or better yet, just don't go near rivers alone. And definitely don't try to argue with her. Trust me, you won't win. Gozu, which translates to the ox head. A monster with the face of a giant cow, the body of a man, and the kind of stare that makes your brain power off. Behavior. The legend says, if you meet him or worse, hear the full story about him. You don't just faint, you literally just pressed Control-Delete on your keyboard. No claws, no weapons. His ability is pure mental kill screen. Just the sound of his tail fries your brain faster than a Nintendo Switch stuck in airplane mode mid-boot. Nobody knows what the full story actually is, because anyone who hears it never survives long enough to spill the tea. Yeah, what do you expect? Honestly, the most terrifying part is that I swear I just got a headache by telling a little of his story. No kidding. Gozu doesn't need to chase you, doesn't need to fight you. He just talks you to death. Sightings. Some stories say he wanders schools and empty roads carrying a book with the cursed story inside. If he reads it out loud, your body locks up instantly. And if you try to cover your ears, too late, your brain already hit download in background. So yeah, thanks for watching. See you in the next one, and stay safe out there, kids.